everyone, Michelle here. So there's a topic I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while, and it relates to helping and supporting someone who is in an abusive relationship. I also want to focus on my personal experiences as a supporter, because there was a point in time where I wasn't sure if what I was doing was helpful or not. And if other people are going through or have gone through something similar to what I have, I want them to know that what they are doing is okay. Just to disclose, I do not claim to be an expert on the subject, and I am not saying that what I'm about to share is the only way to help someone. I do recommend looking into professional and credible sources for assistance. I also acknowledge that victims and abusers can come from any type of background, but my main focus will be on male abusers towards females since I am most familiar with that. When I was really young, I didn't have the knowledge to recognize what were the signs and dangers of an abusive partner. However, I did realize that some of my friends were in problematic relationships. One example was that he would constantly gaslight and make her think that all the problems stem back to her. And I'd always ensure that what he was doing wasn't right, that she shouldn't have to put up with the suffering, and if she ever decided to leave him, I would support her. I know that some of her friends have tried to push her to break up with him, and that's not a bad thing to do. There has been times that I've even felt that I should have done that as well. The thing is though, there is a bit of a risk when you try to force someone to do something that they aren't ready for. If you try to force them to leave, they might start to shy away from opening up to you and not telling you what is happening to them because they don't want to deal with the pressure, which is one reason why I didn't take that approach. There could also be different reasons why someone might not want to leave, and that can range from not being financially independent, fear that the abuser will harm someone they care about, like children or pets, and maybe they still have hope that the person will change. And that is one that I have faced as a supporting role for one of my friends who was in this situation herself. I know the last one can be the most frustrating one to deal with as a supporter because the decision isn't coming from a place where you can say, oh yeah, there can be physical consequences and obstacles placed on this person if they left. It's all emotional. But emotions are a powerful thing, and I think there should still be understanding and respect given to these situations too. There would be this cycle that after a nasty fight or even a breakup, he would turn around and promise her that he would change, he wouldn't do it again, and that things would be different. He would behave like this perfect person for a while and things would look promising until one day he snaps and then the cycle just starts all over again. And being in the supportive role, you want your friend or family to see that these are broken promises and have them make the right decision for themselves. So when you have no knowledge on how to deal with these issues, it can be hard to know what the right thing to do is. All you do know is that it isn't right or healthy. Now, I'm sure there are situations where it may be necessary for friends and family to take a more direct and forceful approach, especially if it's a situation that can be life-threatening. So I'm not saying that this approach is bad to do. But it's important that the victim also comes to that realization themselves, because if they don't, there can be a risk of them being drawn back in. So just because you aren't forcing them to leave doesn't mean you can't share your perspective with them to encourage them to take that next step. You can tell them that what you see and hear isn't right and that they shouldn't have to put up with abuse. By you being there to listen and emphasize your willingness to help can ensure them that they can trust and come to you when they are ready. For a lot of my friends who were in these positions, they were able to get out of these situations, and most of them were able to stay safe and continue on with their lives afterwards. However, by staying silent after the fact, that's when things can take a turn for the worst, in which doing so did cost the life of one of my friends, Maple. What the issue was, and what I wish I knew before, was to have as many people that she knew be aware of the situation so that they can be an extra pair of eyes to help watch out and make sure that the abuser does not interfere or come near her. Because there really is safety in numbers. The reason why I mention this is because I felt guilty for many years, thinking, what if I forced her to get out sooner? Maybe things would have been different. It wasn't until years later, after reading an article, that explained what you should do when helping someone in an abusive situation. And it actually said to do everything that I did, which was to take a more passive approach and not try to force them out of the situation. And that is when I realized I didn't do anything wrong. A lot of guilt was lifted. To be clear, that doesn't mean her other friends who did the opposite were wrong. But it was just good to know that there are different and effective ways of supporting people. And I'm not sure if this is factual, this is more just a thought, but maybe having a diverse circle of support was actually helpful. Because she did eventually come around and even called me on the day that she was ready to end the relationship. So my main message is don't feel guilty if you end up taking a more passive approach in helping someone out, because that can still be really beneficial. What they really need to know is that there are people who care and are willing to support them when they need it most. Now, one last mention before I go. I would love to post longer videos with more details on Instagram TV. However, I can only do up to 10 minutes now due to low followers. The goal is 10,000, so please follow and share so I can work my way in being able to create longer and more depthful content that I think can really benefit others. Thank you, and until next time, take care.